What's up, y'all? It's your host, Sensei NK, back in another episode. I'm not my co-host, but I'm with...
Maya Nnaji.
Wow. Hey, how are you doing, Maya?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, I'm glad to have you on. You've been a shining pillar for not just women's basketball, but Nigerians playing basketball as well. So, shouts out to you on that aspect. So, let's start from the beginning. How did this all start? How did you become such a basketball phenom?
First and foremost, I would like to give all the glory and honor to God. He is the only reason I am who I am today. He's guided me through everything I do and everything my family does. And I think with faith and hard work, you can achieve anything. My parents instilled that in me from a very young age, and all of my siblings. We've worked super hard for everything we've got. During times when people were resting or going out, having summer vacations, we were on the driveway in the summer every single day, working hard through the sweat, the tears, the throw up, the blood, all that, playing hard.
There's genuine days of throw up? What happened? What was one of these instances? What was the craziest workout you've ever been through? Could be in high school, college, hanging out with your dad and your brother, anything like that.
Okay, I'll say one of my most memorable ones. I was in third going into fourth grade. Okay. And this is when you start shooting at the actual free throw line. That's when they start having girls shoot free throws from the free throw line. And I remember I went to summer camp with the rest of the girls in my city, and we were having a basketball camp, whatever, and we're all trying to practice free throws for the first time. Okay. And everyone was airballing, everyone was missing, jumping over the line, all that. And I was doing the same. But I remember I watched my dad. He was watching me in the corner. He was giving me that classic Nigerian African dad stare, or whatever you want to call it. And he had his arms crossed. He was just staring at me.
Just upset.
Yes. And I was terrified. I'm like, uh-oh. So as soon as I got home, he's like, no. Go outside. So he made me make, I don't even know how, it had to be more than 100 free throws. I was not allowed to jump over the line. I wasn't allowed to jump. And every time, I think it was every time I airballed or every time I missed a certain way, he would have me run around the house a few laps. And so it got to the point where I was dead tired. I was so exhausted. And he was looking at me like, you think I care? I'm like, I was trying to explain myself, everyone, he's like, you're not everyone. And so he's always set the tone. I have to hold myself to a higher standard in everything I do. That was not the hardest work I've had, but that's the most memorable one.
Did he give you one of those, the energy because of my parents also gave me the conversation too of, I'm not going to keep coming to your games if you're not good at this sport.
Yes, he said, do not waste my time. That was his thing. He was like, you can do whatever you want to do, but do not waste my time. If you don't want to play basketball, you don't have to play basketball. There'll be times where he'd be like, after I have it back, he'd be like, Maya, I want you to think to yourself, seriously, is this something you want to do? I'm like, yes, I want to play. Then you need to act like it. He's like, do not waste my time.
Wait, what was the things that you're doing that made you seem like you weren't acting like you really wanted to hoop?
If I had a game where I scored maybe 5 points or maybe 0 points, or I'm just not rebounding well, or I'm not playing hard, he's like, do you seriously want to play this game?
What separates you from most other athletes?
Like I said, I think it's just my faith and my work ethic. And I think it's also the fact that me being an athlete is also not my identity in a way. Oh, okay. I think most athletes, especially male athletes, they ride on the fact that they play sports. That's their entire personality. That's their entire future. They don't see life without it. And every day is a blessing. Every opportunity to play sports is a blessing. You never know when that can be taken from you. So my parents have also done a great job of making me well-rounded and having other aspirations and other hobbies outside of my sport that allow me to appreciate it even more. But then also be being able to have aspirations for a career after basketball and using basketball more as a platform to get where I want to go, and or a vehicle to get where I want to go, instead of the end destination. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. Why do you think people do that to themselves?
I think you really just get caught up in the love for the game. Sports are really fun.
If you could explain the love of the game, how would you explain it? Because my brother played basketball for a while, and I also started to play too, but I could never really truly care about playing basketball for real. And I feel like that was the one thing that just separated me.
I think it's this addicting feeling of when you put in so much work and you start to see your results.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think that is like, whether that comes in like team success or like wins or like you're improving or your shots becoming more better, your shots becoming more consistent, or your handles are getting better, or now you're able to dunk, or now you're able to do a move you weren't able to do. Like, it's like that rewarding feeling that makes the work all pay off in a way. Like, it's all worth it. And so it keeps you wanting more. Like, people that are athletes, especially at higher levels, they're usually more competitive, like type A personalities, like people that just, they're never satisfied with what they do. Like, a lot of them are perfectionists in a way, especially the best athletes. So it's like you develop this, like, you crave this, you're chasing this feeling of getting better. And I think the best athletes, like someone like LeBron, I think that he embodies that in everything he does, outside of basketball and with basketball as well. Like, he wants to be the best father he can be, the best husband he can be, the best role model, the best activist, the best advocate, the best athlete. Like, it's like I can always do better. I can always do more. And I think that also has a negative side to it, because it's like you never stop and appreciate the work that you put in. And so you also sometimes feel like it's never enough. And that's like that's the hard thing that a lot of athletes struggle with, especially when they do have those failures and those setbacks. It's like, especially if you don't have anything to fall back on. Let's say you don't have a good support system, you don't have, maybe you're not really into faith and all that, or maybe like, you know, like, it's just like,
there's not much grounding you outside of the sport. Yeah,
exactly. It's easy to get lost in failure and like lose yourself completely.
That's actually really interesting, because the idea that I'm getting from that is the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And if the thing I'm doing is, like, for example, a sports where there's like not so much I'm not talking correctly right now, but not so much as there's like this like mystical energy behind it, but like you're trying to strive for this like quote unquote greatness, which is like, that's not tangible. Like, that's not a real thing. So you're just doing things hoping to eventually get there.
Exactly.
And that actually transitioned it perfectly. So what was it that drew you away from basketball? Just switching entirely.
This is a very complicated question.
We got time.
It has a lot of layers to it. So I've always known that basketball was not my end goal, not my end destination. It was just like a vehicle to get me where I wanted to go. And so through basketball, I've been so blessed to have so many other opportunities that have come from it. Like, it is just a tree that has bore a lot of fruit for me. For example, basketball got me a chance to go to pretty much any school I wanted to in the country for free. And then from there, I was able to narrow it down to the schools that had the career path I wanted to do. And that career path is becoming a physician. I really want to be a doctor, and I really want to be able to give back to the people that have helped me become who I am today, and shed light on those people that are like underprivileged, those people that are underserved, people that are cast to the side. Like, I want to be the person that is their voice. I want to advocate for them. So through basketball, I was also able to find a program at my current school, University of Arizona, which is called the APME program, which stands for Advanced Pathway to Medical Education. So I was able to come to a school where I'm able to finish my undergrad and my medical school in 7 years instead of 8. And so that was also huge for me. It's like, I'm planning for life after basketball. I knew, like, maybe I want to play pro for a couple years. Maybe I want to play for Team Nigeria in the Olympics. Maybe I want to do something like that. But I do not want to be a professional athlete. And then after that, like, I'm in my 30s and I have nothing else to do, nothing else to fall back on. Like, that's my whole identity. I don't want to be like that. So basketball was just, it got to a point where basketball became like an extra, like the icing on the cake, not the cake. You know what I'm saying? That's interesting.
So basketball kind of seemed like the side quest, like the perfect side quest, just to be doing a bunch of random stuff.
Yes. And it was just supposed to teach me work ethic. It was supposed to teach me responsibility, time management, organization, drive, perseverance, persistence, all these things. It made me a better person as well. That's what sports does for someone. And then also gave me opportunities. I've met a lot of people, and it's also helped me network with a lot of doctors and people in healthcare as well, because they see me play. Oh, hey, Maya, watched you play. Great game. Especially in Tucson, like, there's a very large older population here. So they all love to come support our team. There's no pro team anywhere near us.
Yeah.
Except for in Phoenix. So it's like everyone wants to come watch basketball. And through that, it's like great networking for us. So I was able to set myself up for my career path later on in life. And then it got to the point where basketball was taking away from the things that I really wanted to do. I've sacrificed so much of my life for basketball leading up to this point. I've sacrificed time with friends. I've sacrificed family vacations, just like all this time that I missed out on in childhood and my early years. And now it was like, I'm not going to sacrifice school. I'm not going to sacrifice grades. I'm not going to sacrifice job shadowing, research opportunities, all these things I want to do to become a doctor. Like basketball has gotten me there, and now I'm blessed, and now I need to step away in a way. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, and then it was also like, I knew that it was supposed to be like just this fun activity. I love playing the game. It's supposed to be fun now. Just do it because I love playing here. I love the school. I love the team. And it became a toxic environment that was draining me. And it was not fun anymore. It was not like something I look forward to.
Was that when you got disillusioned by basketball?
I don't think it was that I was disillusioned by basketball. I just think that, honestly, I think I came to my senses more in a way. It was like, I've started to realize that this program is not really the best fit for me. This, like, playing basketball here is not the best fit for me. And I needed to reprioritize.
Mm-hmm. How did everyone else take it? Because of you made a post on Twitter, mm-hmm. on Instagram, everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. And there was a bunch of feedback. Mm-hmm. Was it more positive, more negative? How are people reacting off of social media? Things like that.
Yeah.
Businesses.
It was a lot of super positive feedback. A lot of, like I said, doctors reached out to me offering like research or offering like job shadowing opportunities or just mentoring, like, which was huge for me. Even a lot of Nigerian doctors, which was super cool. Shaq reached out to me, congratulating me, which was like, what? Fire. Yeah. Well, let me think. I got a lot of positive feedback from the fans too, because they love my family. My brother played here. Mm-hmm. They know my family well, so they were like just happy for me. Oh, yeah. A lot of speculation on like, is that the only reason why? Like, is this really the only reason why? It's kind of funny because I haven't really made a statement saying, oh, that's not really the only reason why, but I've decided to take the high road. I don't want to cause any drama for the people that are still on the team, and I don't want to cause any drama with the coaching staff or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So, but it's been a lot of positive feedback. I will say that Maya Nation, an Instagram account, they posted my story, and a lot of people are like, oh, her dad forced her. Oh, classic African parents. They're going to be so happy. Oh, I don't want my mom to see this. She's going to make me da-da-da-da. Did she really want to do this? Poor child, poor girl. I'm like fighting for my life in these comments. Like, y'all don't even know me. I come from a basketball family. Mm-hmm. Like, this was not at all my parents' decision. That's the furthest thing I could possibly be. And trust me, I know when my father can get in the way and be like, oh, you're doing this, and I just have to listen. I know that. That's like, all African parents are like that. Like, I know
I'm Nigerian too. I feel you.
Exactly. That's very possible. There are times where he just takes the lead and he's like, we're doing this because I said so. And I just have to say, okay. But this was one thing where he was like, just very proud of me, honestly, for having the maturity to realize what's more important. He was like, that's amazing. And he was like, I want you to keep training and all that because I know that you still love playing basketball. I'm like, of course, yeah. And so hopefully I'll be able to play for Team Nigeria in the future. Okay. That's like my next goal.
I feel that. Honestly, that's a little bit. Your dad's a little bit greedy because he had like an all-star basketball player. So I'm gonna get a doctor now. But hey, I feel it. That's fire. That's fire. To talk about the upbringing to playing, when did you start becoming good? Like, when did you start getting noticed as like, oh yeah, no, you're one of one?
Okay. Let me think.
Was there a player that you just like torched that was like really good, and you're like, oh, they weren't that good?
Honestly, I feel like not in like a cocky sense at all. I think I've always had the target on my back because I started playing basketball when I was 4 years old. And from that point on, like, I remember I went to one of these summer basketball camps in like my hometown, and they were like, okay, kindergartners here, first graders here, second graders here. I looked at my mom like, Mom, where do I go? Because I was in preschool. Like I wasn't even the age of these girls. She's like, just go with the kindergartners. I'm like, I was so scared. Like, Mom, where do I go? Like my dad, my mom, they always pushed me. I was always playing up on like up a level, up 2 levels, playing on like the top teams. I got my first full ride scholarship offer in 7th grade. Going to one of like the university camps. Like I went to the University of Minnesota camp, Wisconsin camp. Those were my first 2 offers. So, I mean, from that point on, I think I was probably one of the first in my class to get a scholarship offer. So, from like 7th grade, I think I was ranked number 1 in the state ever since then. And then by the time I graduated, I was like top 10 in the country. So,
I think you bottomed out at like 4 or 5. I think that's pretty how high you got. Was it as you got older and you just kept playing, at what point did it just get easy then? If you got your first D1 offer as a 7th grader, what point was it like, oh yeah, this is just easy?
Never easy. Never easy. And my dad made sure that it was never easy.
How did you do that?
Because he's like, he's always like, he thinks because I'm talented and I've worked hard that his biggest fear is I will just start coasting and I will start relaxing and start letting things just go whatever, like just being cocky or being arrogant about it, acting like I've arrived already. And so he's always made sure, even when it started to feel easy for me, okay, we're going to put her on this team now. Okay, we're going to play her up a grade. Okay, we're going to have this coach train her. She's going to do this workout. She's going to like always making it harder for me, always challenging me, which made me appreciate hard work in a bigger way. You know, it's like, I can never coast through this type of workout because I will get killed. I can never coast through a type of game like this because these girls are way bigger than me. They're way distant. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think it was ever easy for me. Interesting.
That's actually very interesting because of one of the things that I've noticed, especially looking at basketball players now, high school basketball players now, they're not playing up in AAU like they once was.
Yes.
And do you think that's like wrecking the game from the inside out?
Honestly, I think reclassifying is wrecking it more than not playing up. I can't really speak for other people. I think me playing up levels helped me mature quicker in my game. And because it's like you're playing with these, first of all, you're playing with, basketball's a team sport, so you're playing with older girls. They do not have time for this little girl coming on their team and messing up the game. So it's like you have to be on your,
where it's like you are good for your grade, now come play.
Yes. You have to be on your P's and Q's. Like you have to like be on point every second, and it's like you don't want them to feel like they're playing with someone that's younger than them. So it's like at like I have the pressure from my dad, I have the pressure from my teammates, and the pressure from myself just wanting to do great. You know what I'm saying? So
does it ever get overburdensome?
Sometimes, yeah, but I think because my family is super supportive and I have such a great support system that I'm super grateful for, I don't think it was ever like too much, you know? Like it was just something that helped me grow. Like I've been super blessed to have a very privileged life and, you know, have a lot of blessings around me. So the most adversity that I've ever really faced comes from basketball. Like that's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like there's the pressure that you feel as an athlete cannot compare to the pressure that you feel as like a single mom or as a person that is trying to make ends meet, or as a person that has divorced parents, or a person that has no parents, the person that has, you know what I'm saying? Like it's always worse. Like it could always be worse. Yeah. So I think, yeah, there's pressure from sports, but it's really nothing.
There's not much basketball can do when rent is due in 2 days and you don't have the 400. Yeah, no, I feel that. That's a very, that's
you
very
gotta
fair.
have some perspective. You
Yeah,
know?
of course. I feel that. And then transitioned to, wait, did you play AU? Did you get much time to play AU?
Yeah, I play AU every year.
So how is the game different from playing in AU versus playing in high school?
High school basketball is way more organized, but then it's also like, what I say, the competition is way worse in high school basketball. Like it's not tough at all because you're playing.
Is every other team as OP as your own team in comparison to playing in high school, especially at Hopkins, where you had like 3 other nationally ranked players?
Hopkins is definitely an anomaly. It is definitely an anomaly. Yeah, I can't really say. All I know is people were scared to play us in high school because it's like we had like our whole lineup. especially when I played with Paige, our whole lineup was D1 and then like 2 players off the bench. Like D1 plus our bench players.
How was that?
And then we had like some like 8th or 9th graders on JV that were D1 too. So it's like we never like, but then it's like our coaches, whatever coach we had at Hopkins, always made sure to raise the standard for us. So it never became like, oh, it's easy for us. We had 3-hour practices every day. We had to watch film. We had scouting reports. We had lifts, like mandatory lifts, like all. Like it was run like a college program, and that's also why the best players wanted to come play there, and that's also why the younger talent became the best players, because Hopkins really did a great job at keeping the standard up here. And I think that's like a huge thing for athletes that are talented, is not letting it get easy. Like you asked me when did it get easy, like not letting it get easy. Like my coaches I had at Hopkins were always on our behinds every single day in practice, screaming at us, yelling at us, pushing us harder, running us, conditioning us, everything. Like the standard was so high that it's like, if you don't love playing basketball, you probably would not want to play here. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
But then it's like, with that comes Nike Nike sponsored our team. So we're getting Nike gear. We're able to play the top teams in the country. My senior year, we got to play in Geico, which was super cool.
Fire.
Yeah. But then it's like, we put in all that work, and so then we start producing. Like we had like probably 3 years in a row we hadn't lost a game. Like all winning state championships, all that. Like it didn't just come because we had a bunch of good players. Like it came to fruition because of the work we put in, and like the people wanted to buy into that culture. And it was such an amazing, like I think that was like my peak, like the peak of my enjoyment of for basketball. Because I played with like some of the best players in the country. Like Paige, Bueckers.
Playing with Paige,
it was like playing with all those girls was amazing, because at any given night, any one of us could score 30. Any one of us were capable of doing it. And none of us cared who did it.
Real quick, I think it was your 1,000-point night where you dropped 24 and there's another girl that dropped like 24, and then y'all two scored more buckets than the other team that you guys were playing.
That's crazy. Ridiculous. That's crazy. I don't even know.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
But continue.
But it's just like, that was like, I think the highest form of team chemistry I've ever played with. Like that was like just beautiful, like poetic basketball in a way. Like we would share the ball, and it was like nobody cared who scored. Nobody was selfish. Paige was the best player in the country by far, and it was never like, oh, I'm gonna go for 30, I'm gonna go for 40. It was never that. Paige would be encouraging our worst player on JV and making her feel like she's just an amazing player. Like she was that type of leader. Our coach would actually have to tell Paige, you're too unselfish, we need you to shoot the ball. Like she set that tone for us, and so the rest of us, like we all just kind of fell in line, and was like, we just played together as a team, and win or lose, like we were in it together. Like it was never like, oh, someone's got to win for us, or pass the ball more, or this or that. Like we were all bought in together, and it was beautiful. Like it was, yeah, I miss it.
I feel that.
You don't see that.
No, I feel that. I was talking to my brother about it, and I told him, I was asking him, I was like, how good is Paige? And then he was like, she would get you off that. Like, just not even no cocky shit, no nothing like that. Just objectively, she would get you off that. And then I was like, interesting. I went and watched a couple of her games, and she just might. She just might. Which is interesting because of are you on TikTok much?
Oh yeah, here and there.
So there's this one account. This one dude was like talking a lot of ish on was it on Caitlin Clark, talking about, oh, I'll destroy her. Da, 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 da.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Keep in mind he's 5'3". And it just makes me think, why is there such a disconnect between the way that men see women playing basketball and the way that they're actually playing?
I don't know. I hate to pull like the sexist card, but I really think it is sexism. Like, obviously, so if you take it back, men started playing sports before women were allowed to. Men did a lot of things before women were allowed to. Men are usually taller, stronger, faster. And so because men have a lot of taller, stronger, faster people in their population, they think, oh, because I'm a man, I'm taller, stronger, faster than this girl too. No. You're not LeBron. Just because you and LeBron are both men doesn't mean you're like LeBron. Like, I don't know. It is so hard for them to appreciate women's basketball because it started later. It's still developing, like all this stuff.
How long has the WNBA been in part? Is it like 25?
25 years?
25
like
years?
Yeah.
So I was talking to my friend about this too, because that's actually very interesting.
Yeah.
So people are always on this tirade on women's basketball sucks. WNBA is not like keeping up. It's just it's a black hole of money. And I always have to remind people, they're literally in their Wilt Chamberlain era. Like right now, it's like their earliest time.
Yes.
And I was thinking about this. I was like, I had a feeling like there's an inside of me thinking this next like 5 years is gonna be like a crazy boom in women's sports. Especially with women's college sports right now with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
Paige Bueckers coming back. What's some other oh my God, the other person that's on LSU. Oh my God, the running mate.
Flage?
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Her, and there's a couple other people that's like going to usher in a whole new era. And honestly, I was thinking about you too. I was supposed to come in and just change the whole premise of women's basketball. Do you think that people are just now starting to notice, or do you think that we're still a little behind?
I think the people that really love and appreciate basketball are starting to notice, and I think social media plays a big part in that. But the people that are behind are very, very behind. And I think it really sucks because it's not even the people that appreciate basketball that are making these negative comments. It's the people that didn't get to play basketball in college, people that peaked in high school, people that did not play sports at all, the people that are always watching. Not like it's so easy to hate when you are the one watching and not being watched. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to say, oh, he should have shot there. Oh, she should have did this. You are sitting on your couch in your apartment or in your mom's basement, and you are commenting on someone who is on TV, on national television. I think also social media has made everyone feel like they're entitled to viewing everyone's life and having an opinion on it, an opinion that must be like heard.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I can't stand when I scroll on TikTok and I see, oh, this video caused drama and now everyone's duetting and stitching the video and talking about what they think, and I'm like, that has nothing to do with you. Like you have some audacity. Like you need to go outside and touch some grass and find a hobby, because you will never catch me. You know how angry you have to be to comment, to open your phone, to watch the entire video, to click the comment button, to type out a hateful message, and to press send? Like in that time that you've done that, you could be online looking for a better job.
Yeah.
You could be in a gym, like making yourself healthier. Like it is never the people that are successful, people that are happy with their life, people that have found love, people that are working hard, that are spending time hating on other people. It's people that are unsuccessful, that are unhappy with themselves, that are lonely, or that just project these feelings that they have in words onto other people. I am having such a bad day. I am going to sit here and hate on Caitlin Clark, even though she will never see this comment. It's really insane. Like there are girls that are busting their butts in the gym every day, going crazy. Like Juju Watkins is going insane at USC, and she's not even getting enough coverage for it.
That's true. Yeah.
You watch her highlights, and I could name a single player on like, let's say like a high school boys basketball team where they think they're just all this and that that could guard her. Like it's just it's also like, I think when someone sees that a woman is doing great, they also feel threatened by it. Because like I've always gotten that too. Like let's say like middle school, high school, we have like open gym or whatever. And
how is that? Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Continue.
And it's like all the boys are like, oh Maya, I bet I could I'm beat you in a 3-point contest. I'm beat you one-on-one. Play me one-on-one. Like they would line up to play me one-on-one or to do a shootout or something like that. And I never lost. Now, mind you, it is not the high school boys basketball team that is going to talk to the high school girls basketball team and tell them how they suck. It is the people that are not on either team. That
didn't make the team. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, I have nothing to prove to you, but I will still entertain it. I will still give you a good time.
I don't blame you. What's the worst you ever beat a team?
Oh, I think Hopkins, we had to beat a team by maybe 80 or 90. I don't know. When we would go to like our section tournament, our first game would always be the number 1 seed versus like the number 7 or 8 seed. That would always be like a varsity might play 3 minutes and then JV will handle the rest of it. Like just like a fun like just a good boost our morality, get our little ones in the game. And mind you, our JV's like 8th, 9th graders.
Yeah.
Not a bunch of juniors. Like,
so we need to get y'all 1,000 points by your second
literally
half of the year. That's these
literally
days. Jesus. Because the schools that I always hated were the schools that were so big but not big enough to move up sections.
Yeah.
So like we get like the De La Salle, the North, the schools like that.
Yes.
And then you just turn to like a team like Hopkins or CDH where there has like 5 NBA sized players on their squad going against like a 1A school for no reason.
No reason. Like literally just cancel the game. Save your money. Keep the bus in your high school parking lot. Do not come out here. It's no point.
Because I remember when Chris Ray went out to play Hopkins. And so I was a sophomore at the time, right? I played the freshman game, the sophomore game, and the junior game because we didn't have enough players.
Is that even legal?
Hey.
I thought you were only allowed to play 3 halves.
Hey, that ain't got nothing to do with us. That ain't got nothing to do with us.
Oh my gosh.
And then since we had an NBA player on our squad, they're like, oh yeah, no, they'll hang. Why would y'all do that? Why would we even do that? So yeah, it was bad. I think that's the worst I've ever gotten beat was to y'all. But yeah, no.
Wow.
Switching on topics. How did your brother Zeke help you with the game of basketball?
Zeke is just an amazing person. He is definitely my biggest role model. The best brother you could ask for. It started with the fact we were so close at a young age. And then my dad would have me play one-on-one against him. So he would just make me cry. I would just be crying, just so defeated. And I would have to keep running around the house because I kept turning the ball over. I kept missing layups, whatever it was. And he was always bigger, stronger, taller, faster than me, just better than me in every way possible. But then he also made the game easier for me when I was playing against girls. Because like nobody is going to be as big as Zeke. Nobody's going to block my shot like him. So he also like pushed me a lot. And then it's like, he was like the pioneer for us, like for me and my sister. He was kind of like the trailblazer for us in a way. Like, okay, I see Zeke doing this, I'm gonna do it now. Zeke can do it, I know I can do it. And then he was so good about like being patient with us, mentoring us, teaching us on the driveway. Like it was always better when Zeke was running the workout versus my dad. Because he's way more patient, way more like gentle, and he understands how to explain it a little bit better because he played the game himself. So he's just been a great mentor. I love watching him or going to Denver and watching him play and visit him and all that. He's always super supportive, and he'll actually like if we have a game on the same night, he will actually at halftime check my stats and he'll like text me like, okay, this is this. So that is like the best feeling ever.
Fire. What did you take from his game?
Honestly, my brother has always been like me and my brother had like opposite success stories in a way.
Okay.
He did not start getting recognition until like senior year.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if he got his first offer till like sophomore or junior year. And then he started going up and up and up, and he had so many doubters, so many haters, so many like sports writers that said he wasn't this, so many coaches that didn't believe in him, said he wasn't good enough for this, and whatever it is. Everyone has their own opinion, and he always just kept his head down, always just worked, always just grinded, always worked. And you start seeing his success, and it's like the most amazing feeling to watch and witness it, because you know how hard he's worked, and you know how many people have doubted him and have like, you know, and it's also a testament to like what having faith does for you. Okay. And especially for our family, because he was born premature. Like the doctors already like had these expectations of him saying, oh, he's not gonna do this, he's not gonna do this, and like every day of his life he's just surpassing expectations, I guess, in a way, in everything he does. And it's like it's amazing to watch, honestly. I'm so proud of him, and I cannot even describe how much he inspires me to be better, and just in every way. Like he's such like a great role model. He's a great leader, and he will have even more success than what he has now because of his faith, because of his gratitude, the way he treats people, the way he is kind and caring, and that will always come back to you, and that will always like return in more blessings.
Is it tough having faith on your own end?
No, okay. Because I think my family instilled it in us at a young age, and I've always seen what it has done for me. Like when you pray, when you submit to the Most High, when you get on your knees and you pray, I can feel it like in my heart. Like I don't know how to describe it, but when I pray, I get like chills, like goosebumps. Like I can feel that he's with me, you know? And there's certain moments where it's like I'm having a hard time, whether it's in life or on the court, off the court, whatever it is. I can just feel that, like that sensation of chills running through my body. And it's like, just reminds me, it's almost like comforting, reminds me like I am capable. And there are times where I didn't think I'd be able to achieve a certain thing, or I didn't think I'd make it through a certain point in my life, but I always did, you know what I'm saying? And on the other side of that adversity was always even more blessings. So that was like, how could I even doubt that he's there with me?
Fire. Speaking of blessings, when you became a McDonald's All-American, how did that happen?
Oh, that was the most surreal feeling ever. I remember.
Do you have your trading card?
I do. I don't know if it's here. I think it's at home, like in Minnesota. But that was like the most amazing experience ever. I remember I was in class watching ESPN for like when they would announce it, because it was like Charles Barkley or something like that announcing it like live. So I was like so nervous, because just because you're ranked doesn't mean you're gonna get it. Like there's been some snubs every year. So I was like super scared but like super excited. And then when I got announced, like it just felt so surreal. I'm pretty sure they butchered my last name, but I didn't even think about it. I was just so excited. Like it was like the most surreal feeling ever, and all my classmates were so happy for me. Yeah.
Fire. What moment did you recognize your game? Like, was there a certain game that you like had and you're like, wow, I'm here?
No.
Wow. Okay.
And that's something I've always struggled with is like, yeah, people will tell me, oh, Maya, you're so good at this. Oh, Maya, you're so talented. But like being able to see that myself has always been hard, because the standard is so high. It's like even, and this sounds crazy to say, even when I was like a Jordan Brand Classic All-American, McDonald's All-American, I was ranked this, ranked that. It always just felt like, okay, what's next? Okay. Not like, wow, I really did that. It was like, okay, what's next? Like,
for those that don't know, what is like that week when you are like a McDonald's All-American, like the training camp, the actual game, the whole experience for that one and the Jordan one?
It is surreal.
Do you feel like a little celebrity at the time?
Yes, it's so cool. Yeah. I was even Slam All-American, which was in New York, which was even cooler because we got to play at Rucker Park. We were on a double-decker bus. Like kids were like chasing our bus, like screaming at us, like for gear, cheering us on. Like the most insane experience ever. Like touring Times Square, like all that. Like you literally feel like a celebrity. It's so cool. I also like for McDonald's and Jordan Brand, they were both in Chicago. We got so much gear, like 13 pairs of shoes probably for Jordan Brand, maybe like 10 for McDonald's. So many clothes, like. If your size is not correct, they will fix it for you. Like whatever you need, whatever you need, they're there. There's security at every checkpoint. There's security on every floor. It's just like, it is so like surreal. Like you're literally treated like a pro, and it's insane. Like the meals are great. The activities are great. It's so organized. And then you get to like meet these players and like bond with them. They're people that you've been competing with on the AAU circuit, like your whole life, and now you get to like meet them and bond with them and just have a great time. And you all have worked so hard, and now you get to appreciate each other's talent, and like there's fun, like
you get a chance to be friends now.
Yes, it's so cool. Like the practices are so cool, and even like watching the boys play as well. Like they have their dunk contest, or like watching your friends do 3-point contest. And even
real quick, can you dunk? I was told you can dunk. Is that
is not true.
That's a facade? That's fake?
That is not true.
Oh, okay. All right, continue.
But yeah, it's like, it is the coolest experience ever. And then like when the whole show is put on, you know, you have the dunk show, the 3-point contest, and then the actual game itself, like all of that is just an amazing atmosphere. It is. And then all like the top like sports accounts are there, like ESPN's there, Bleacher Report's there, Overtime's there, all these, like it's amazing. I
feel that. One of my friends told me to make sure to ask you this. What WNBA players do you think could play in the league?
None.
Really?
None.
Okay.
None. No. I think men's basketball and women's basketball are two different two different games, and I think if you compare them, you don't appreciate either of them. If you say, "Oh, a woman can play in the NBA," you do not appreciate the level of talent and the work ethic that these men have to put in to even be on that level. There are some WNBA players that wouldn't even be able to get good minutes on a college team, men's college team, but that's because there's just two different games. Like. You have to be so much more skilled and so much more crafty to even be like a guard in the NBA.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
They're so huge, they're so tall, they're so quick, they're so like everyone is amazing, you know. Yeah. But then it's like on the women's side, these players have huge, like a very high IQ, great passers, great shooters. Like Sabrina Ionescu is like the leader for 3-point contest, men's and women's. She beat Steph Curry. So if you compare her and Steph, you're not appreciating either of them. So
the reason why I asked, there was a player, Dennis Long, that got, she was the first woman that was drafted into the NBA in 1969. And I feel like, so they drafted her kind of like as like a promo type of thing, like promotion type of vibe. And I feel like if she actually got a chance to get minutes, that would have skyrocketed the talent and the perspective of just women's sports in totality. If she even got a chance to play. Because I looked it up, she was like averaging like 60 something points in high school and college. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And there's a lot of instances where you get players like female players like that, like a really good shooter, not Ray Allen, but Reggie Miller. Yes, Reggie Miller's sister.
Yes, Cheryl Miller. That's
she's like better than him. Like 505.
Yes.
So it's like there's instances like that where it's like if they had let them play in the league, the whole way that we see women's sports in totality would have just changed by now. So, yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Do you think it's how long do you think it will take before the way that we see women's sport just completely change? And do you think is the fact that there is such a lack of money in it at the moment?
It's hard because I think even women's athletes don't even necessarily support women's sports.
Okay.
Like I can't even tell you, maybe one player on my team watched WNBA games.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the call is also coming from inside the house. Like you're saying support women's sports, but you're not even doing it yourself. So I don't know when that will happen. It is definitely hard, but then it's like NIL is also kind of like evening the playing field because
that's true.
Because like women are so much better at marketing themselves. They're so much better at social media engagement, at like creating content that their followers want to see. And like creating a brand. Like think about how well Angel Reese has marketed herself. And whether you like her or whether you hate her, whether you think she's good at basketball or whether you don't, you are thinking about her because she's being talked about. And she's making her brand on being fearless and being a great role model and being a great role model to young black girls or black boys or anybody in general, really, just being unapologetically her. Like she has never apologized for anything she's done because she's so confident in who she is. And no matter how much hate she receives, how much backlash she receives, she does not let that stop her, you know?
She seems very much like she got that dog in her.
Absolutely.
Got that dog. Definitely.
Absolutely.
I was funny. Okay, you know what? Let's go here first for moving on. I feel like the thing that's gonna help like really change women's sports is the fact like individuals such as Enrique, where her vibe, the same thing that people go to like SGA for, is the same thing that she's putting out. And I gotta get a pair of her shoes. Hard. They're so hard. Yeah, her and Sabrina is really tough, and I feel like now that people are actually taking, especially Nike, the fact that Nike's taking the chance to really put money into them, I feel like that's gonna help them like a lot more in the long run. Because like for the individuals that just want to be like different, they're buying into it. The people that like want to be like quote unquote cool, they're buying into it as well. And I feel like, especially with a lot of NBA players, they want to show love to the women's game. Individuals like Michael Bridges, Kyrie, people like that, Devin Booker. There's a lot of people like that want to see the league succeed. So I feel like that's helping them in the long term. Why do you think that a lot of women don't really pay much attention to women's sports, even if they are athletes?
I do not know. I also think the women's games aren't as easily accessible.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if you tell me that the only way I could watch an NBA game is by buying NBA League Pass, I will not watch a single NBA game.
Yeah.
Now, if you tell me, okay, it's going to be on ESPN for free at this time, I will go and watch the game.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
There are not a lot of WNBA games or women's college games besides like the very, very hyped ones,
LSU
like the championships or like the top 10 teams, that are being broadcasted. So if you are not on a top 10 team, even if you're getting buckets, regardless of how good you're playing, you will not ever be seen because they only show so many games. You know what I'm saying? It's so few.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Question: I was going to ask you this earlier. How were you affected by watching the whole Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark fiasco going on, and the fact that was like the biggest boom in female sports in the past like 5-10 years?
I think when it comes to women's sports, any attention is good attention.
Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, it's great that they're growing the game. How many people were angry at Angel Reese, calling her get out, calling her this? They're still talking about her. Yeah. At the end of the day, whatever you're saying is putting money in her pockets, and it's in turn growing the game. Because then you're like, oh, who's Angel Reese? Oh, then you Google LSU women's basketball, and then you Google the national championship game, and it's like, whatever you want to say, oh, Caitlin Clark is so cocky. You were still talking about her. You are still like feeding into that and growing the game in a way. Now it's like, oh, Angel versus Caitlin. When the whole time they are actually like cool.
Hey, the same team. They
do not have any beef. You are creating this beef, and that's what I'm saying. That's the problem with social media. It's also good, but it's a problem. People feel like they are entitled to just commenting on whatever they want to comment on. They feel like they have unrestricted access to just say what they want to say to somebody, and that has to be like the case. Like, oh, I believe that women's basketball sucks. You should take it off the screen. I do not want to watch this. Stop posting these highlights. Nobody's watching this. Like, do you really think that you saying that is going to stop ESPN from posting women's basketball highlights? No, it's not. Like, I don't know. It's so annoying. Like, I could care less about what someone has to say about me, especially when I do not know them. Like, and it is never, like I said, it's never the happy people. It's never the successful people that are actually have something going for themselves in life that are wasting their time sitting and talking about other people. It's never that. So it comes from a place of insecurity and unhappiness. And I think people that are being talked about do not care.
That's fair. Who is your favorite basketball players?
I really love watching Candace Parker.
Okay.
Elena Deladon, though, and then like Kevin Durant and Giannis. Those are like my WNBA, NBA like players I want to be like.
Oh, okay. Were you trying to get their games? Was that like the plan?
Yes, because they're like tall, athletic. They have guard skills. They have post up skills, like all that. Like matchup nightmares in a way.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Have you always been in matchup nightmare?
Yeah, my dad made sure, like, I didn't start working on post moves until probably like 5th grade, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe even later than that. Way later than that, actually. Maybe like 7th grade.
So were you just like a face up, nose just dive straight to the rim type of player?
No, because he also made sure my shot was like
a
perfected craft. Like, I cannot tell. Okay, so this might sound insane to people that do not play basketball or people that do not put that much time into it, but I kid you not. When I would shoot the ball, your guide hand's supposed to stay straight. My guide hand would go like this. And my dad made me run and drill and practice until it stayed straight. Like he perfected my craft in every way possible. So that there's no way that I could be sitting on the 3-point line and you're guarding me from the charge circle. Like, you have to guard my shot. You have to guard my dribble. You have to guard my post up. You have to box me out from rebounding. You have to stop me in every way possible because he made sure that I was skilled. You know what I'm saying?
Where would you want to take your game next? Where are you trying to go next with your game?
I want to keep training, working out, going to open runs. And I want to play professionally, and I also want to play for Team Nigeria. Those are my 2 goals. Okay.
Yeah. What are you gonna do to make that happen?
Like I said, I'm training a lot on the side, still working out, still lifting, doing all that stuff, and especially during the summertime, I want to continue to link up with Phil Handy. Oh, okay. He's an assistant on the Lakers, and he was training me during the summer just to have him grow my game. And then also being in Kobe's old facility, like there are a lot of hoopers that go in and out of there. So getting exposure to playing like ones against people or 5-on-5.
Who have you got a chance to play with?
I haven't played with anyone yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I've trained there and seen, like, let's say Jason Tatum was there, Kyle Lowry was there, a bunch of NBA players, and then a lot of WNBA players go in there too. Haley Van Lith trains there. Juju Watkins trains there. So it's good to be able to go there and then play against other girls too.
Yeah. What was some of the craziest fives you ever ran? Because I feel like you could play in an organized game, but I feel like that's not the craziest games you would see.
I honestly don't run a lot of fives.
Why not?
Because my dad was always like, especially if it's not like the top competition.
Yeah.
Unless it was like an All-American game, that's more like a scrimmage.
That doesn't even
count,
really.
He doesn't want me to like get injured or something like that or something stupid. So, but I think the craziest.
You missed out?
You said what?
Do you think you missed out?
No, because I got to play against the top competition in anytime I was in. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
But continue.
I would say like playing in the McDonald's All-American, like the scrimmages, the practices, or even like the game itself, like I would say the craziest fives I've ever played, because like there are girls on that team that can dunk. There are girls on that team that can shoot consistently from like half court, insane talent, like
how is that
crazy lay packages, all this, you know?
How is that playing on a squad where like nobody is bad?
It's so fun. And then also at the same time, it's kind of stupid because everyone just wants to get posted on overtime.
Oh, okay.
So they start doing stupid things, and it's like, okay, just pass the ball, man. Like it's not that deep, but it's also fun and cool, like meeting these girls and playing with them, and it's a lot of fun. Like people will talk trash, but then like be laughing at the same time.
It's part of the game. It's part of the game.
It's cool.
What did you think you've learned from 2023 and now moving into 2024?
I think especially in the world that we live in today, you always have to put yourself first in a way. Like you have to know when to set boundaries. Okay. When to prioritize you, because you are the only one that has your back at the end of the day. And whether you decide to be a people pleaser or whether you decide to be selfish.
Were you a people pleaser?
I wouldn't say so, but I think I needed better boundaries, and I think I set those at the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
Going into 2024, I kind of set the tone. But I think either way, whatever decision you make, someone's going to have something to say about it, good or bad. Someone's always going to be talking, and you are really the only one that's going to live with the consequences, good or bad, of your decisions. So whether you're saying, "Oh my, you shouldn't have done that," you are not in my shoes, and I cannot comment on what you should be doing because I don't have to deal with it either. You know what I'm saying? So I really think like you have to prioritize yourself in a way, because people are always going to be talking. Like, be authentic, be true to yourself. That is the biggest thing that I've learned, for sure.
Okay. And now I know you just gave like a whole bunch of advice right there, but we've reached a segment of Wish I Had a Sensei, where my guest goes and gives some advice that they wish that they had when they were younger, and some advice for them now, some advice for them in the future.
Okay. Advice I wish I had. Trusting the process, for sure. I always felt like when I was younger, like I had to, yes, working hard is good, but then also there's times when rest is good. You know, too much of anything is bad. I think just being able to trust the process and being calm in the work that I've put in, that would be like a main thing. Even if you had a bad game, it's not the end of the world, especially if you identify yourself so much with sports. Some athletes will get this idea in their head that because they had a bad game, everything is bad. They're a bad person, they're a bad student, they're a bad sister, they're a bad brother, whatever it is, they're bad. And that is such a toxic mentality to have. Like, you have to pull yourself out of that. You have to find other things that you enjoy and other things that you are good at. And then also being okay with failure, because nobody's perfect. Literally nobody's perfect. So being able to take those failures as lessons rather than like hits that like knock you down. That's something I wish I would have learned at the same time when I was younger. Fire.
All right, you good?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, y'all, if you got this far, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Go hit her social media account. I'll put it right here. Go like my stuff. It's a whole journey. It was really fun being in Arizona, even though I'm going to be back in Minnesota in a couple hours. But yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Of course. I'll do it again. All right, y'all. We out.